Inside the Birds is back. What's going on, everybody? It's Geoff Mosher and Adam Caplan. And as promised, Eagles play Monday night tonight. We said we would get you the latest injury update and intel, and we've got it. We've got it. God bless you, my friend.
Thank you.
We've got it. We've got it. And it turns out, after all that is said and done, the Eagles are going to be without two players who are definitely out, and the Packers are without two players that are definitely out. In the grand scheme of things, Adam, as we look at the Eagles side of it, I don't think either guy being out is that surprising. One being Cam Jurgens. He didn't practice all week, so Brett Toth will play at center. And Jair Alexander, it doesn't surprise me that on Sunday they said he wasn't going to travel with the team. He just got with the team. I mean, I wasn't expecting that. I don't know how you felt about it, but I didn't think that he was going to play this quickly for the Eagles.
All right, so let me explain a couple things on here. And there was one player added Saturday, which we'll get to in a minute, which is minor. But with Jair Alexander, yeah, he is out, actually. He didn't travel with the team. But it said they added the knee to it. We need to make that point. Now, he did say during the week, he told the reporters that this is the best his knee had felt since last year when he got his knee cleaned out. So I don't know. I'm not sure why they added it. We're not aware. We know that it also said coaching decision, which means he's not ready to play.
Right.
Because, as you said, he just got there. So he's got to learn the way that they coach their zone defense, the match, carry, deliver. They got to talk their match system. They got to talk about that. I mean, they got to get him down on it and make sure he knows what he's doing with it. Plus the knee. So, yeah, he's not playing. Kylan Granson, by the way, was added after Saturday's practice with an oblique. He has no game status designation, which means he's expected to play.
Yes.
And this is an oblique injury. So remember, where he really helps him in special teams, he doesn't do much on offense.
Correct. And Cam Jurgens, it's disappointing for the team, I'm sure, that coming out of the bye, he wasn't healthier, but certainly not something that's strange to see him being out. He was not able to practice all week long.
Right. Correct. Yeah. So this will be his second straight game. Missed the game before the bye, and then this game, and Brett Toth will fill in. It's fascinating because prior to the Giants game, the second one, of course, where they won, where he was phenomenal, he was the exact opposite. He was like, if you watch this tape, you'd say, okay, why is this guy on the football team? But to the Eagles' credit, they were not giving up on him, and he was phenomenal, and we'll see. This is a fascinating matchup. You could hear our pregame show with Greg Cosell. We talked about the matchups on that show. And then the questionables now, Willie Lampkin, by the way, the undrafted free agent the Eagles claimed off waivers from the Rams, he was designated for return this week. So he started practicing with knee and ankle issues. And by the way, they're cross-training him at guard and center. So it would be nice, though, you and I have talked about this, it would be nice if they could find a developmental backup interior lineman. He could be that guy going forward.
Certainly. I'm kind of I don't know, excited, intrigued about him. He had some pretty good preseason tape. He's an interesting guy at his size, right? It'll be very interesting to see his development. CB2, Adam, obviously with no Jair Alexander and with Adoree Jackson, a full participant on Saturday and carrying no injury designation, he and Keely Ringo will be available to play. And it'll be very interesting to see where VicFangio goes there.
Yeah, Jackson was cleared out of concussion protocol. So that, he has no game status designation. And then it's between Ringo and Jackson really right now. Now with Bennett, by the way, they have till 5 p.m. Eastern today to activate him for this game if they want him to play. And remember, he started practicing prior to the bye, so we're getting near the 21-day limit. So remember, he's come back from a pectoral strain. So he's just got to get his conditioning down. But they want him to factor into that cornerback position, opposite Quinyon Mitchell. Others with no game status designation include SaquonBarkley, A.J. Brown. Umaro Ojoma cleared from the protocol. That's great. Now, NolanSmith started practicing this week with a tricep strain. He said he told him he feels good. That doesn't mean he's playing. It's not his call.
Right.
It's simply a medical issue and conditioning issue. But here's the thing. So once they decide to bring Bennett and Smith, because they're both on injury reserve off of IR. We talked about this before. The obvious one to release would be AJ Dillon, and then the question would be who would be the second player to go.
That is a good question. I really honestly couldn't tell you where I think that they'd be leaning in that direction. Now they added, is there anybody in the defensive backfield
Well,
that
Adore
might
Jackson, we
go?
talked about that one. Now this is
Yeah,
again, this is when Bennett and Alexander are ready.
right,
That's what I mean. When all of them are ready, when everybody's
right.
healthy and cleared, because then they've got too many corners, which is kind of funny because it's now we didn't say they're great, but they would have a numbers issue.
Mhm.
Other than that, as I look at it, I just don't see anyone where else they could go here. Because if you look
Maybe
at
a
the
tight
offense,
end. I mean, maybe. I mean, because they've got.
Branson's a special teams ace. He ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, they got. You're right. It's interesting, especially it's really
And
interesting if
Latu's fullback.
if they want Bennett and Nolan Smith to be active for this game. And you said again they have until what time? Monday,
5 p.m. Eastern today. Yes.
5 p.m. Okay, that's an interesting. That's a lot of time to really sit there and think it out. Yeah, man, I really don't know what they would do. That's a tough call. I mean, they've got
Yeah,
all
the
these like
second one would be
they've got
hard.
guys like
Yeah.
Gibson as a returner, but he's here for a reason. I
Yep.
agree with you. Dylan's the obvious one, and then it becomes really sort of you don't want to take your chances with some of these guys. Like I really don't know where they would go.
Because remember, all veterans now they go through waivers now since we're
Yep.
past the trade deadline. So you could potentially get a player claim now. Would AJ Dillon get claimed?
Hmm.
I remember Joe Banner saying that, former Eagles president, that anyone you release, or in this case put through waivers, you're willing to lose them, no matter how much you want to keep them, and it's a numbers problem.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Drew Kennel being cut. I know he's a complete non-factor right now, but
Right.
he's a developmental player.
Yeah.
I
Same thing
don't
with
see it.
Smile Mondon. I mean, he's an important special teams player. I
Yep,
mean, you don't cut these
exactly.
guys.
I don't see
Yeah.
it. Drafty,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
see it. So those would be the two right now. Would be Dillon and Jory Jackson. Jackson also would be subject to waivers. He's another one where very little money. He hadn't played great football. It's been a while since he's been a factor in terms of playing good football. So those we'll keep an eye on it once those cut. I mean, it could happen as soon as today,
Right.
but unlikely both would be done today. But whenever it happens, they have to make moves.
Yeah, I mean they like having a nice deep defensive tackle rotation. So even though Byron Young isn't really getting that much time, he's somebody that maybe, but I doubt it. They
I
did
doubt
as we
it.
they did add a DT to the practice squad. I don't think it has anything to do with it, but they
Taquan
did add that
Graham, yeah. Oh,
Von
I'm glad you
Graham. Yeah.
mentioned. Yeah, Taquan Graham was a former draftee of the Falcons. Actually, has had some promise, but he's been hurt a lot. That was him and Gabe Hall. I'm glad you mentioned this. Are the two D tackles on the practice squad.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying because I did say it was unrelated, but the fact that they have both of those guys and Gabe Hall has been with them makes me think they could believe that they could get Young through the waivers and onto their practice squad and elevate him if they need him, and then sort of get him back onto the 53 once they kind of maneuver other guys. I don't know, but it's very interesting. One is easy, two is very difficult when you're trying to figure out who would have to go. Hey, it's Geoff Mosher, and if you have a family and kids at home like me, you always want them to be fully protected. That's why I'm thrilled to be a Simply Safe customer, and our house is equipped with the most technologically advanced alarm system you can get. If you could actually stop someone from breaking into your home before they got inside, why wouldn't you? Traditional security systems only react after a break-in, but Simply Safe is different because it stops crimes before they happen with Active Guard outdoor protection. Their AI-powered cameras detect threats while they're still outside your home, and they alert real security agents. These agents take action while the intruder is still outside and confront the intruder to let them know they're being watched on camera and police is on the way. And that's how you stop a crime before it's committed. There's no long-term contracts or hidden fees. You can cancel anytime, and it comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee. Try it and see the difference for yourself. Do not miss out on Simply Safe's biggest sale of the year, 60% off. Our listeners get 60% off a Simply Safe home security system at simplysafe.com/bird. That's simplysafe.com/bird. Hey, Philly fans, game day is stressful enough. Parking, traffic, long lines. We've all been there. But when it comes to your cannabis, Camden Apothecary makes it easy. This is the dispensary for sports fans, just minutes outside of Philly with plenty of free parking. You'll be in and out fast, no hassle, no waiting. And they don't just care about convenience. Camden Apothecary is all about the guest experience. Their staff makes sure you feel taken care of every time you walk in. Plus, they carry only the best quality cannabis at the fairest prices. So whether you're stocking up for the tailgate, the watch party, or celebrating a big win, you know you're getting the good stuff without overpaying. They even show love to the community with specials for fans, students, service members, and healthcare pros. Camden Apothecary, top quality cannabis, great prices, and an experience made for Philly fans 21 and up.
And yeah, on Graham, he's been on IR 3 different times with the Falcons. He was a 2021 fifth-round pick out of Texas. He is a D tackle. He's not an end, just so folks know. He's an interior defensive lineman. He's around 300 pounds, and he showed some promise, but he's just been hurt a lot, and the Falcons moved on from him. So this is interesting. Yeah. So Graham now, that's a good developmental piece on the practice squad. He's had playing time before. I like this move a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, to make room for him, they released Antoine Powell-Ryland, who was their seventh-round pick. So he is. I think that's the second time he's been on and off and on and off.
Yep.
Yeah. The practice squad. So the tango, the dancing continues on the practice squad. All right, let's move on to the Packers injuries. We talked about this in the pregame show, and it wound up being the case. Nate Hobbs is going to be out for them. He's their nickel, right? So as Greg Cosell pointed out, they will probably take Javon Bullard, their safety, who last year played a lot of nickel. Yeah, they're going to do it. They're going to move him to nickel back and then put a different safety in.
Yeah, it's this hurts them because Hobbs plays nickel, he plays corner. Mm-hmm. And what they've done is when Hobbs has been hurt, they've played Carrington Valentine. Not only have they played him in Hobbs's place, he plays like every snap unless somebody gets hurt. Right. But here's the problem that they have now. So their depth is completely shot at corner. Bo Melton, a former receiver, his first year playing corner. And Kamal Haddon is a kid that only plays special teams. He's not played a single snap on defense. He was a 2024 undrafted free agent for the Chiefs. He's played very little, even in the 2 years on special teams. So they can't afford an injury, and they just don't have the depth. Zach Tom, that'll come after pregame. He's their right tackle. This is interesting. When he's missed 2 games. Darian Kennard, who the Eagles never should have traded, by the way. He did start one game, and Anthony Belton, their first-round pick out of North Carolina State, started the other. So they do have depth. Now, here's the problem with Matthew Golden. They held him out the final 2 days of practice. He didn't practice Friday or Saturday. They had great depth, but it's almost all hurt. Golden is more questionable, is more doubtful than questionable. Dontavian Wicks limited all week with a calf strain. He didn't play the previous week. Savion Williams, you talked about him in the pregame show. He's got a foot injury, limited all week. And Malik Heath has been clear to play. He's like their 6th receiver who's had to play more snaps than usual because of injury. He's got a hip injury. So they've got a problem. They got a problem. Now, I know they're a big 12 personnel team, but you got to have depth and you got to have guys who are available. So this does help the Eagles a bit. Yeah.
And of course, it's harder for them to be in 12. This will be their first foray of being a heavy 12 personnel team without Tucker Kraft. So they'll obviously elevate. Luke Musgrave becomes their number 1, and then they're going to have to throw a number 2 tight end in there that they hope can get the job done. So they're banged up. They're banged up a wide receiver, and they're banged up a tight end. And Josh Jacobs has been banged up. I think he's been having an ankle injury. I know they've rested him a lot.
He's good to go. Yeah, he's been clear.
He's good to go, but you can look at his numbers, and you can just watch him run. He just doesn't. He's not an explosive runner anyway, but he hasn't grinded out some bigger runs like he used to do. He's moving the chains, but not the way he had, certainly not last year.
Yeah, he's a stop and start runner. So what they'll do at tight end is, for folks who really follow the NFL, you might remember Josh Weil, who was a 5th-round tight end for the Titans in 2023. Him and John Fitzpatrick, who was signed off the Falcons practice squad last year, those guys will fill in to back up Luke Musgrave. And Musgrave was the higher drafted player of him and Kraft, but Musgrave, unfortunately, I believe he had a lacerated kidney many years, as a rookie, and then Kraft took over and never gave the job up. So, this is at least, Musgrave's talented. He was a 2nd-round pick. But, they have a problem. The Eagles are clearly in way better injury shape, if you will, than the Packers. So, the Eagles certainly have a lot of advantages. Lucas Van Ness, who doesn't start because he's a victim of the scheme change. He was drafted for the 34, would have been perfect for it. Oops. He only played it 1 year with them. because they fired their defensive coordinator, and they have a new one. So who's running a 43 is Geoff Hafley, former Boston College head coach. So he's a non-factor. He's hurt anyway, and that's what they have. So these are. Oh, by the way, one more thing before we get out of here. It's important. Landon Dickerson off the injury report. Darius Dickerson ankle and back off of it. This is literally off of it. Like, didn't start the week on it. Darius Cooper, who does play on special teams and blocks, because the Eagles don't run a lot of 11 personnel. He had a shoulder injury. He's off of it. Remember, he was on IR. Dallas got it off with a calf. Calcaterra off with an oblique. And special teamer Jeremiah Trotter Jr. with the ankle. They're all off the injury report. So the good thing is it was a concern when Ojomo popped up the injury report with a concussion, but he's cleared out of it. So the only players, honestly, as we finish this off, it's just a matter of, do they activate Bennett or Smith or at least one of them for this game? And that's it. And Willie now, if Willie Lampkin gets activated before the 21-day window, that's another spot they have to clear up. But then it really becomes difficult. We're past the trade deadline. No one could be traded. Yeah. So that's it, folks. There's a lot of stuff. Go ahead.
That would surprise you, right? I mean, I don't know that Willie Lampkin is ready to go in and play meaningful snaps when he's been injured. He was a very day 3 pick for the Rams. I mean, he was he's I think a developmental guy more than let's put him out there.
Totally.
Yeah.
Hey, I still like a good night out, but I'm not always in the mood to drink, and that's why I looked for a great alternative, and I found one. It's called Sol's Out of Office Gummies. You get the same light, happy buzz, but you don't have the hangover. There's no sugar, and you don't get that awkward feeling the next morning. They help me unwind and ease into my evening without the alcohol or the next day fog. Sol is a wellness brand that believes feeling good should be fun and easy. Sol specializes in delicious hemp-derived THC and CBD products designed to boost your mood and help you unwind. Their best-selling out-of-office gummies were designed to provide a mild, relaxing buzz, boost your mood, and enhance your creativity and relaxation. With 5 different strengths, you can tailor the dose to fit your vibe. From a gentle 1.5 milligram microdose to their newest 15 milligram gummy for a more elevated experience. They've also got a variety of products specifically designed to help you get a better night's rest, including Sol's top-selling sleep gummy, a fan favorite for deep, restorative sleep. So bring on the good vibes and treat yourself to Sol today. Right now, Sol is offering our audience 30% off your entire order. So go to getsol.com and use the code BIRDS, BIRDS. That's getsol.com, promo code BIRDS for 30% off.
All right, good stuff. That is the latest on the injuries, and now it's left for the Packers and the Eagles to play the game Monday night. Lambeau Field should be an awesome one, and of course, we'll have Inside the Birds post-game show following the game, and Andrew DeCecco, and we'll have some stuff on Monday as well. Tuesday after, the next day. So that's going to do it for this episode, this injury update on Inside the Birds. And for Adam Caplan, I'm Geoff Mosher. You have been listening to Inside the Birds podcast, #1 in Eagles Intel. And as always, we thank you for flying with us inside the birds.